Working Class Frame Rate. I'm your co-host, Josue, here with my co-host,
Austin.
And we're excited to bring you the third week of horror film extravaganza. Holy shit, we've got now 10 episodes out. Well,
yes.
2 recorded, 2 filmed. And
visuals and audio.
Visuals and audio. It's been a lot of work, guys. If you've been tuning in, we want to say first off, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
It's been so much fun watching these movies and talking about these movies.
And we hope you've enjoyed hearing about these movies.
Yeah, and it's been so much fun to share this with all of you guys, and the feedback has been beautiful. I love seeing people comment on the movies, and even sharing some of these movies that maybe you have probably never even heard about in your life.
Yeah, or seen.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about this podcast, is to be able to share these movies. Hopefully you've gone out of your way to check these out and then join us in the conversation, because we love movies and we love talking movies with you guys.
And we especially love horror films.
Yeah, horror films horror films are some of our special
spicy little genre.
We love getting freaky with our cinema.
We like a genre that likes to ruffle your feathers a little bit.
Give it a little. Oh, sorry, don't mean to fuck up the audio.
Yeah, it's okay, bro.
You get spanked later. Yeah, a little bit of a spank in there.
A little spanking.
Yeah, we got week 1 slashers, week 2
psychological horror,
and this week is week 3 with body horror.
Slimy,
dirty, disgusting,
stinky, bro.
A lot of bugs,
questionable.
A lot of bugs in here.
Yeah.
Also, some freaky little kids. David Cronenberg going through his divorce phase.
We got Ken Russell talking about religion.
Yeah, then we have a man hanging with fucking hooks as he's being poured oil over him.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of freaky stuff here. We're super excited to get into it. We got 5 body horror movies. 5 body horror movies for this week's subgenre of body horror. And let's hop right into it.
Yeah, let's hop right into it. We're gonna have a good time.
First one of my favorites. We've got Altered States. Who is Altered States directed by, Austin?
Ken Russell.
1980. Ken Russell.
Starring William Hurt,
Blair Brown, Bob Balaban. Sorry, I'm not.
You apologize to him right now.
Listen,
dude.
I gotta be honest with you. This movie like changed my perspective on body horror as a whole. Like
the concept.
I was so taken aback by the risk that they were taking. Even for a 1980s film, it still felt so...
It felt very risque, even for its time.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. So, look, the opening sequence just kind of... It took me aback, I was just like, whoa, especially like this wide, like panoramic angle of him in the tank.
Yeah, the title cards coming across the screen while he's in the tank with that ominous score sort of like, forebodingly sort of lingering over the frame was really cool. It felt like Paranoid 2001.
Dude, I was going to say that all the trip sequences in this movie are mind-blowing, and it's so colorful, it's imaginative, and it's sometimes terrifying just to see where his mind is going, and we're sort
overwhelming.
We're following this character's like own trip in his mind, and how he's trying to piece together his humanity with his religion and his upbringing, and how he desperately wants to touch God, and at times he wants to be God, and it's such an interesting case study of this man longing for something greater than even humanity.
I mean, I would even take it one step further. It's not even just like going beyond what this realm offers. He's trying to unlock the genetic memories of ancestors.
Yes.
And I even wrote a note saying, the thought of unlocking the genetic memories of our ancestors and returning to a primordial state is provocative. And the very last thing I said was, it would unravel every understanding we have of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And that paired with my biggest pro of the film is the hallucinatory sequences. I just felt engulfed by it, and it just the way it sort of sunk into me about like what consciousness is. And even me as a little bit of a thrill seeker myself, I could understand his yearning for seeking that beyond.
No, I fully understand you, and that's where we follow him into these caves where he's like again trying to tap into those the first humans, the first beings,
the original consciousness,
first consciousness, exactly. And I just found it so funny that this white man goes to another
Central Mexico,
just a different culture entirely, one that he doesn't understand. And as a typical white man, as a typical colonizer, it's just like, no, I got it, bros. I
gotta trip balls.
Everything that you guys are telling me, I'm just gonna completely ignore. I don't care for. I want to take this back, and I want to study it. And the consequences we see on the screen are very apparent. And I was taken aback by his obsession with this longing to connect with the first consciousness.
His like rabid determination.
Yeah.
It's almost like an addiction. And I even thought like there was like an underlying theme of like that sort of spiritual psychosis and that sort of like pit you fall in where it's like once you sort of find that obsession and it like lingers in your brain, how it becomes like parasitic.
Well, even when he comes back and we see him trying to experiment with this new drug, I started to pick up on these themes as well about addiction and how it became everything. Literally, he did not care about his work. He did not care about his life. He didn't even care about his kids necessarily. No. He was just so...
He abandoned them.
He was addicted to this substance that and his research that he didn't care about anything else. And like you said, I believe that there's underlying themes of addiction and also just obsession for something greater than than being a human and that consciousness that he was seeking.
Yeah, well, I think specifically I remember him saying in the film, it's like he's basically bored with theory. It's like going beyond words alone, and he wants action. And, I thought back to like when I was younger and how curious I was about the world, and it's like that sort of unfiltered curiosity. And I feel like this film sort of takes it to its illogical extreme in a way that's like amazing. I mean, we haven't even gotten to like, say, the ape sequence.
I was just about to get into that,
monkey.
Dude. That ape, the body transformation into a gorilla or like an ape was so interesting, and just to see how
well built the tension.
Yeah. And honestly, that the transformation into that was it was a great payoff for everything that we had seen being built up. Because like even though this is a body horror movie, we don't really get to see much body horror until that ape scene.
Yes.
There was stuff that started to happen to his body when he came back and he was experimenting with the drug, but we don't get a full body transformation until he becomes that ape. Yeah. And I love how he loses even his own consciousness and he becomes something else that he doesn't remember. And I found that so interesting, and especially his interaction with the dogs and how he became his own like an animal reacting to these animals and trying to fight them, and it was so interesting.
Well, I mean, this also goes into like my biggest pro of the film is the screenplay. It's also a big payoff because there's a big mention early in the film that I thought about. It was almost biblical, him talking about eating a goat in his dream, and the first thing he does as the ape is eat a goat.
Right.
And I was thinking about those like parallels about seeing visions and it manifesting, and this is one of those films that sort of like after you watch it, all the layers unveil even more as you start to just like capitulate what you even witnessed. You know?
I honestly really enjoyed the climax and just like the trip that movie takes you, the colors, the effects of the body as it was switching as he slammed on the wall. There's so much color. There's so much disorientating images that being thrown on the screen.
And his wife with like the cosmic fire engulfing her body.
And she screamed, and then the vocal effects too. That's something that I noticed too. There was so much great sound design in this movie that I felt like I wasn't even doing justice. I put on my headphones and I was like, let me try to hear as much as I can. And even then, that was still not doing it justice. Like, I wish I could watch Altered States in a theater. Like, that would be the peak experience.
Absolutely.
For this movie.
It's going to be on Criterion soon. I don't know if it's going to be 4K, but it's getting a remaster.
Oh shit! And is that coming to a physical release?
Yes, they just announced the cover art. I think it was last month or this month.
Oh, that's right. I remember you sending that to me. Yeah.
That was actually what inspired me to put this on the list.
Oh no way!
Because I've never seen it,
dude. I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, and also the shout out to the iconic poster of him upside down with the wires coming out of his head. Just great.
Just absolutely. This is an experience of a movie.
Oh yeah. With
heavy-handed themes that I feel they explore really well. And they also leave a lot of room for interpretation, which I love so much.
Yeah, there's no spoon feeding. I found that really refreshing about it. I didn't feel like it was talking down to me. It felt like it wanted to have a serious conversation with me.
Altered States gets... I believe there's like no flaws for me.
No, I have no cons for this. This is a 5.
Perfect movie. This is flawless. Incredible. Altered States body horror. Ken Russell, 1980 is our first pick for Horror Film Extravaganza, Body Horror Week 3.
Cinema.
Oh yeah. All right, second one on the list is
Tetsuo the Iron Man by Shinya Tsukamoto.
1989. And now me and Austin actually got the privilege of watching this together. Although, look, this movie is on YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
But the last time I saw it, it was on YouTube. But we watched this on Internet Archive, and it had the English subtitles. And we watched this together right before we watched The Long Walk, which was it's not the greatest combo, because Tetsuo the Iron Man is incredible. But Tetsuo the Iron Man is like one of the greatest body horror movies I've ever seen.
It's really
fun. And it's so ahead of its time. In the way that it's shot, the way that it's edited. Also, there's just so much to love about this movie. Give us your pros. I don't want to speak ahead of you. So what are your pros for this movie?
My main three. The first one's specifically, it started the career of Shinya Tsukamoto, one of the best visionaries of Japanese cinema in general. I love all his cinema. Personally, what's funny is because I actually love Tetsuo 2 a little more, Body Hammer, but I consider him very similar to like Sam Raimi and just some of those figures and like their careers and how their styles manifested. I think it's really cool. And then mainly, I mean, the other two ones are kind of like synchronized. It's the score combined with the visuals. I think this is a purely sonic and visual experience unlike anything else. And I think what he created here was unique, especially considering the resources he had. This is not a huge budget.
Really? Do you know the budget?
I don't know specifics, but this was like basically like what he created his theater with. Like he has a company called Kaiju Theater. Okay. And this was sort of how he started that trajectory.
Yeah. I mean, I see some sorry, cut. Yeah, I see some good titles here. We got Tokyo Fist.
Oh, I love Tokyo. Snake of June is really good. Kotoko.
Bullet Ballet.
Vital's pretty interesting.
Bullet Ballet released the year that I was born, 1980.
Yeah, and it's got beautiful black and white cinematography.
That's what I'm looking at. The header here for Bullet Ballet looks
it's
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
But look, dude, I think that the black and white adds another layer of atmosphere to Tetsuo the Iron Man, and then paired along with this metallic score that plays throughout this movie. And not only is it grimy and very what is the word? It's very.
I'd say it's very aggressive.
It's a very aggressive score. It's also I'm blanking on the word. Industrial. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a very industrial score. But there's moments of this score that are very groovy. That are honestly that I wanted to even sample and put into my music. The score is something that stands out here as a character in its own individualistic characteristic of this movie. And I love that part of Tetsuo the Iron Man. I also think that there's these close frames of their teeth and just the grinding.
The hard close-ups.
The hard close-ups are incredible here.
They're rough.
There's also a shot of a hand just like peering out between all of this metal that just like stayed ingrained in my brain as well.
Ooh, and I also think of the sound design. Like there's a shot specifically where this guy is pulling a pipe through his teeth.
Yes, that's the one.
And the teeth grinding on it. And then with that aggressive score just over it, it's like I felt just like my heart thumping through my chest.
Yeah, 100%. Something that also stands out, and something that probably everybody talks about, are the scenes of him walking through the streets and just the sped up editing of him just walking fast in the streets.
It's like the stop frame photography, right? Where it's like one shot. I think, if I'm correct.
You're probably right. He just had him, but that's so much walking.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like the logistics of it, I was like, dude, you know, because there's a specifically one shot. Remember when they fight in the garage and it sends him all the way back to his apartment, and it's that stop frame photography. And I was like, dude, did he do like every single frame?
I wouldn't doubt it. If when you're putting this much effort into like the body horror, and the armor that he has, especially to what it builds in the end, is just, it's something that I'm sure that he probably put in a lot of time and effort into doing the stop what is it, the stop motion photography?
Yeah, stop motion photography.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible. And then of course I was thinking as I was watching it, especially towards the end, the last battle is very much something that would come out of Japan.
It's basically anime.
Exactly. Just
and it's
the big ass team up and the big ass like armor that he has obviously accumulated throughout the movie, along with the other villain, which is there's big ass fight.
Well, that generation's interesting because Shinya Tsukamoto, a lot like Hideaki Anno, who did like Shin Godzilla Evangelion, they were all like kaiju film fans, and Tokusatsu, like Ultraman, Shin, and Kamen Rider. So it's funny, like even in watching their fundamental works, like especially Evangelion for him and then Tetsuo, like you still see those like influences come in. Like that final battle's right out of like Ultraman, you know?
Yeah.
Tetsuo the Iron Man is a really stellar work of just independent cinema. I think it's really, you know, just inspiring to see such a young creative with the limitations he had create such a unique vision that honestly, I don't even think has been replicated otherwise. I mean, I guess you could make some claims like there's a little bit of Nine Inch Nails, but like even then, it's so wholly original and very much him. And I respect it on so many levels.
Yeah, I like you said, especially this being like, is this his first movie that he ever made?
This is what he came out the gate with.
Yeah, coming out the gate with Tetsuo the Iron Man, you could tell that there's so much effort being put into this movie in terms of the specific score, in terms of
the makeup effects. We didn't even talk about the makeup.
Yeah, the makeup effects is insane, especially when he starts picking at his face, when he's just like clawing at the stuff that's growing on his face.
When he pops the pimple and the way it splatters on the mirror is so gross.
Dude, and just everything that starts to grow on him. Also the giant fucking penis,
the drill dick.
The drill dick. The drill dick was crazy.
One of the funniest deaths in the film too, involving his girlfriend with the drill dick.
Yeah, it's just there's so much, especially with the makeup effects and the costume design. Everything about this movie screams authentic. It screams a singular vision, and I can't help but respect this movie. And I think this is definitely one of the greatest body horror movies I've ever seen. And it's so committed to the bit. It's so committed to the vision that I left feeling like I did leave feeling inspired for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Dude, I give that a solid. It's a 5.
It's a 5. I really enjoy this movie. 1989, Tetsuo the Iron Man. This is our second pick for Film Horror Extravaganza Week 3 for our body horrors. All right, for our third pick, we have From Beyond, 1986 by
Stuart Gordon.
Stuart Gordon is a legend.
Yeah, humans are such easy prey. My favorite quote from this film.
He's made Reanimator, he's made Dolls, he's made Castle Freak, which I haven't seen. Looks pretty good.
Dagon fans out there, remember my Dagon heads at?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, From Beyond, I love a lot of these movies from this week, but From Beyond is probably the one that I had the most fun with. Like, I loved From Beyond. From start to finish, this is a clean 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's a 1 hour 25.
Might as well be 20 minutes.
Yeah. It flies by, and there's so much to love here. Honestly, the movie it never takes a second to breathe. It's just constantly going. There's constantly stuff being thrown at you.
Quick plot, gets to the point.
Also, there's so much body horror here. Like, there is so much to chew on, especially right off rip. They do have the doctor who comes back, right? Or the professor who comes back. And immediately we see his transformation and different stuff that
Dr.
happens
Pretorius.
to him. Yeah, it immediately feeds you, and there's so much to love about this movie. But tell us, what did you enjoy about From Beyond?
It's a good mixture of body horror, but also one of my favorite subgenres, cosmic horror. And I love the mixture of it. The sort of body horror and the sort of themes of BDSM infused with this idea of a dimension. Yeah. It's such a neat blend of science fiction and horror, and I love Stuart Gordon's work because it always feels like a 50s B movie, but made with an 80s aesthetic and mindset.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I love the analog and the gear in the room, all the buttons and the colors and everything in that.
It feels like right out of Dr. Frankenstein or something. Like,
dude, it was so nice to look at. It was so nice to see them like experiment in that room, and especially when they come into the room for the first time. You've got the patient. You've got the what is her? She's a psychiatrist, right?
I think, she studies schizophrenia.
Yeah, so she comes in and then with the detective or the cop guy, and when they test out the experiment for the first time since the murder.
Yes.
I love that we get the transformation of Dr. Pretorius.
Yes.
What is it, Dr. Pretorius?
Yeah, when their first encounter with him in the pineal gland realm.
The creatures that start crawling out of his face.
And the lighting with the neon purple and pink.
And just how menacing and how cocky he is as a character. Just I was waiting for you to come back. Like, let me eat you, bro. Let me nib on
necessarily
your...
very...
Let me suck on your titties, bro.
Almost like pin perfect gross in the way he acts. And I love this idea of him as a villain because, he's sort of lacking any flair with sort of sensation in our realm. So the idea of him going to this realm and becoming just a freaky little flesh pervert is funny.
And it makes sense because he is a freaky little pervert.
Yeah, a little pervert. Every time he comes back, someone's getting touched.
Dude, it is disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's really, really gross. And I love that we didn't have one body design for him when he does come out the first time. He comes out and he has like these. It's a body transformation, but then his face ends up having like tentacles come out of his face,
or a big arm,
right? And then it switches like consistently in the first time that we see him. And I was like, wow, they're already putting so much effort in the beginning 20 minutes of this movie. I can only imagine where it's going to take the body horror. Also, and it just constantly kept feeding us.
Yeah, and also one of the funniest introductions to like the threat of a villain. Yeah. He bit his head like a gingerbread man, as Jeffrey Combs says to the camera. And this, I love the way the frame holds center. It's the most awkward frame in the best way.
Yeah, there's a lot of silly lines in here.
In the best sense, though. I don't mean that in any derogatory
I do want to
way.
say that there's a specific recipe that I had to look up, because when they end up eating, they're like, I'm hungry, let's eat. Yes. They had these flour, let me see what I wrote down. Flour dumplings. Yes. They're flour dumplings. And I looked up the recipe. It looks so good. It was like this beef stew with like these balls of fluffy like bread.
Made by Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead fame, if you guys know.
Lord have mercy. They look incredible. But I do love also, there's like sort of this, again, this need to experiment. The psychiatrist, the person who studied all these people with psychological problems, she felt this need to kind of want to go back and experiment with the device, and like the need to like go back, and she was urgent to go back.
And also, like, when that pineal gland grows, it's like they all become insatiable with their lust. And I kind of like that's a major theme, is one of the reasons they have to stop this machine and Pretorius is because like people will become so dysfunctionally horny that like society
dude I love that. Yeah, dude, like
they're just gonna get so horny.
They were like, oh my god, I'm feeling some type of way, like, and it's just like they're just getting horny, they're getting bricked up. She's like,
and it's gonna destroy the world.
yeah they're like, dude, I can't stop this, I'm bricked right now, bro.
And every time Pretorius appears, it's him just being like, yeah, I'm gonna get you guys horny.
Dude, absolutely diabolical,
gross.
But I love the fact that when they start to turn it off and they go down to the basement, there is this, and you know, everyone knows about the dune worms. The dune worms, or the dune butthole worms, you know. And
shout out Dune.
There's this creature at the bottom. I love the lighting in that scene and just how purple it looked, and just how menacing it was to even just like attack both of them as they're trying to shut off the machine, and then it bites on the head of Jeffrey Combs, who's and
he becomes bald.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's in his underwear and he's bald.
Yeah, he just eats
and he gets a forehead penis.
Yeah,
which is great. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I love that he took a Lovecraft story and just was like, I'm gonna make it just this bizarre sex horror comedy. It's really funny, and I think out of all the films I've seen from him, I just think this one gets the tone perfect.
Did you know that the Lovecraft story is like only like 20 pages? Did you know
yes,
that?
I did know that. I think it's literally just the opening scene.
Oh,
like it's literally that's the story. I think, if I'm correct, but I remember reading that. I'm like, so he just read that and was like, I want to expand on that.
That's so sick. I mean, that leaves room for so much creativity, and I think he took it to the heights that I never could have imagined. And I actually, the whole audiobook is on YouTube, and I'll send it to you. I've been meaning to like listen to it because I want to know where like the story starts and how it finishes, just for the written portion, and to see where Stuart Gordon took this and how far he decided to take it. It's incredible. So much fun.
And honestly, I'm gonna be real, this made me yearn for this era of like video nasty horror from the 80s, because I just was like, man,
dude, the bugs that were sprayed on them. That scene was crazy.
Nasty.
Just spraying bugs on the characters, and then like them fighting it off, only for the detective or the cop guy to be like fully chewed up by the insects was fucking crazy. Rip bro. Rip
Ken Foree.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, God, this is just a fun time. This is also like another one similar to Pieces, as I was saying in our slasher week. This is another one that's great with groups. I just think this is a fun time, and it's super quick. So like you can throw it on and be done within like an hour 20.
I also love when he turned into a bat. I found that to be hilarious. He's like,
I love the stop motion. I think it was there too.
No way. You could tell it was like it was filmed in a particular way where they only had like the creature and they like kind of like double, like they put the frame in the front, like
the craftsmanship.
But you know, there's something so beautiful about watching something that is not like technically perfect, or it's not like, that's why I love practical effects, right? Because practical effects don't look quote unquote as realistic as some of the CGI, right?
Yeah.
But it's so much fun to watch. Like, it is.
Yeah.
There's so much creativity because like not every practical effect, not every body practical effect that Stuart Gordon does in From Beyond is going to be the same as even Reanimator, because you have different people working with different parts and different pieces and different juices. Like,
budgets.
there is every single time it's going to be different, and there's something exciting and something so realistic about it actually happening on set.
It's the texture. It's like it's knowing there's something tangible that I feel like even if your brain isn't scared, you just something about it feels real.
And I mean, it is. There is something realistic about From Beyond, about doing practical effects, especially like in From Beyond. Like, it actually happened on set. Like, they actually had this big ass fucking wet creature, slimy motherfucker, like crawling on set as they like gushed out shit, like a green gushes of juice, which apparently I was reading on the little details on the Amazon player. They actually opted to use like green slime instead of like blood, because they thought they were already having troubles with the MPAA with Reanimator. So they decided to go with the green slime and the green gushes of juice. And the MPAA actually hated that more than the blood. They were like, "Oh hell no!" They were not fucking with that.
It does make it somewhat. Yeah, because I'm looking at pictures of the scenes of him like eating people right now, and it's so gross. Like the way each tendon and the flesh is like designed and intricate. It's so interesting.
This is an absolute banger for me.
Real.
I love From Beyond. Also, Barbara Crampton.
Oh. Yeah,
looks incredible in this. Respectfully, I am looking. She's.
I mean, Stuart Gordon, you're not slick for the leather. I mean, come on, brother.
Come on. Yeah, only for that split scene too.
Yeah, for that.
He just put her in leather for like 5 seconds. He's like, hey, you know what would be crazy for the scene?
Yeah.
If we got Barbara Crampton in some leather for like 5 minutes. I mean,
exactly.
Call me crazy, but
looking great. It's like, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Like,
you're not fooling anybody, slick, bro. You horny motherfucker.
Bro, that's slick.
Yeah, this movie is horny, but you know. And that's why I love From Beyond. It gets horny. It's fun. It's imaginative. The practical effects. There is just so much to love about From Beyond. I love this movie. Yes. I can't recommend this movie enough.
I'm so glad you jibed with it.
Praise for your pick. That was a good pick. That was a great pick.
Thank you.
From Beyond, 1986 by
Stuart Gordon.
That is our third pick from Horror Film Extravaganza Week 3 for our Body Horror Edition.
Sayonara.
And our fourth pick is
Ichi the Killer by Takashi Miike.
2001 Takashi. We're back with another Takashi film, which
dude,
I was excited. I was really, really excited to watch another Takashi film. And you know, there's pros, there's cons. This movie is vicious, just like any Takashi film. This one's brutal, and there's some moments in this movie that genuinely made my stomach turn. But I want to hear your thoughts. What are your pros about this movie? What did you enjoy about Ichi the Killer?
I just love the style of it. It's so cool. Like, I love the set decoration. I love the fits. Kakihara's fits.
I love the costumes.
It's like a GQ shoot.
Also, it's important to note when you are looking at the cover for Ichi the Killer,
it's not
the person on the cover is not Ichi the Killer. I had to tell this goober because he kept telling me, "Bro, is this Ichi the Killer?" And I had to tell him. I've been teaching him about Takashi Miike, so
He's been showing me Mike films.
Yeah. Been putting him on to Macklemore movies, bro.
I just think this is a fun film. I mean, the ethos of this movie is juvenile. It's a 14-year-old's fantasy of a badass movie rolled into the ugliest filtered film I've ever seen.
You know what? I think that's why so look, before we get into my cons, there's a lot to love about this movie. Like you said, I really love the costumes. I think above all else, I've got costumes at number one. I've got tied for number two would be the setup of the locations, the aesthetic, along with the score. Both are neck and neck. I think they complement each other really well.
Ooh, see, I have one right above those two.
And I would say the acting would be a third place. There is a lot to enjoy from this movie. Ultimately, I do think that my gripes, and you put it perfectly, this is like a 13-year-old's version of like looking at this movie and be like, whoa, this is fucking sick, man.
And when I did see this when I was 13, I thought it was like the most balanced boundary pushing thing I'd ever watched.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong.
And don't get me wrong.
There's a lot of crazy shit that happens in this movie that genuinely does push the boundaries.
It reaches for the stars.
And obviously, look, we can get into the scene where he is torturing that man. I think that is like the standout scene.
And you know what's crazy is I don't even think that's the most fucked up scene.
Really? Well, let's get into the torture scene, because I definitely thought that was super interesting, especially the way that remind me
Takashi Miike. The way that just
Miike. The way that Takashi Miike.
You got it.
Okay.
Takashi, you said it right.
Okay. I want to make sure that I'm getting these names.
No. Yeah.
Takashi Miike's the way that he approaches. Why are you laughing?
Nothing.
You fucking laugh at me.
Just say Miike.
I'm gonna.
Dude, bro,
we're getting this on camera right now.
He's fucking with the motion.
I'm about to do you like he.
Dude,
like
I'm gonna be real.
They did that, bro, in the room, bro. I'm about to pull you up by the
bro,
fucking.
You crying like Ichi right now, bro.
I'm about to pull you up by your chonies, and then just like.
I'm gonna hypnotize you, bro, to go get me something from the 7-Eleven.
Listen. All right, Ichi the Killer. I think that the torture scene was very, very interesting. The way that they had him like
hanging
off hooks from pieces of his back and his skin, just literally hanging from the back, because he begins to put stuff in his face, if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna say the most diabolical shot on top of that is when he sticks the needle through the bottom of his jaw, through the side of his jaw, and he has this he has a close-up on it of it coming towards the screen, and it's so and the sound design on top of it is so realistic. It's like it had me like shuddering.
There's some I mean, ultimately we reached the climax of that scene when he pours the oil over his back.
It's not even the right guy.
That is brutal to watch. And like I am definitely like, these are Takashi's movies are definitely something that I definitely have to cover my eyes sometimes, where I have to like look away because I am genuinely disgusted. And I love movies that can give me visceral reactions like that. And his movies are definitely not for everybody.
No, and this is his most openly repulsive effort as well, tour de force.
Well, I thought this scene in particular was really bad. What is your worst scene, if that's not the worst scene that you think?
It's actually, this scene is so fucked up that Takashi Miike thought it'd be funny to do it twice, by the way.
Nice.
So it opens with a pimp, a beating, and then also, trigger warning, sexually assaulting a woman. And on top of it, Ichi, the killer, climaxes to it, in which the infamous...
I want to add real quick before we talk about this scene that I am wagging my finger at this scene. Like, I'm not saying that is not as bad as a motherfucker getting oil put on his back.
You evil for that.
Yeah, dude. That was... God, that was brutal to sit through. And then, there's a lot of stuff that in this movie I felt very uncomfortable watching.
Well, and then also you were forgetting the most famous part of this scene too, the opening, the title card coming out of the cum.
That's right. Yes, the opening title card of this movie is dripped in cum. It is literally...
It ascends from his cum, and you hear it too, sloshing through as you hear this
and it sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It genuinely does. You're like, oh, I signed up for like the most perverse and disgusting movie that
this is like a grindhouse movie to like.
Yes, and this is by definition the grindhouse.
Yeah. This is literally the way my thesis for this film is that it's a cartoon from hell. Like, it literally feels like it was crafted in a cauldron on like the lowest layer.
This feels like Saturday morning cartoons for perverts.
Yes, but this also leads to my con, though. Since it's kind of a gimmick, let's make a repulsive film, which is fine. I'm fine with a sort of disgruntled ride that feels gross.
Yeah.
The problem is this film is 2 hours long. And my biggest con is that after the first 45 minutes to an hour, the pace dies. And I can basically pinpoint it. It's the scene where they put this guy in the TV and they put spikes throughout his face.
Yeah.
After that scene, it's not immediately, but right after that scene, I just feel this downward trajectory that only widens. And by that, like, last 30 minutes, I'm not, like, hating the film, but I'm just, like, kind of looking at my clock, like, all right, dude, like,
funny enough,
I'm burnt out.
Funny enough, I think the more uninteresting parts come from Ichi the killer, like himself.
Himself.
Like, I think, like,
Fair.
you know, because he's a loner loser who was manipulated into committing acts of violence for another group. But like his whole storyline feels so much less interesting than what is bro's name? The guy on the cover? Kakihara's character is so interesting.
Well, and that correlates because the first half I feel like is Kakihara oriented, and then that second half becomes Ichi's story, and that's when it kind of dies.
Yeah, that's the movie loses all momentum. And it would have been cool to kind of have Ichi's story kind of interwoven with what's his name again? Remind me. Kakihara's story. Yeah. Like little by little building up to like Ichi the killer being like the main villain to get towards to the end, which is kind of how they framed this movie. But the second half, as you're saying, becomes way more of an Ichi the killer movie, which is where it loses all of its momentum. I'll be honest with you.
I get what you're saying, though, because I also think the problem with a film like this is that momentum works in your favor. And once it sort of dissipates and you're sort of left with what's there and you can't just sort of enjoy the thrill anymore, I guess, quote unquote, you're kind of just left with characters that are not very developed. And sure, the style's so cool. I like the music, and it's not like the gore stops. Especially, I'm thinking of the scene where they sort of have this woman's nipples in these like clamps, and they're like dragging the knife across the table. Oh god,
that was brutal.
Still awful imagery, but I just feel like by that point, I'm like, okay, like, I get it. Like you can't. It's like it's not shocking anymore.
I think what makes the second half not only unbearable because of the time and it starts to drag, and the pacing and the editing is a little bit off. But I think we get a pair of characters that obviously we're not supposed to feel bad for, and these are just like terrible people who are like just losers.
Oh yeah,
like,
and they're not real people; they're caricatures.
And look, all these ending batch of people that we're following in this second half, they are truly pathetic. So pathetic that I don't even like honestly connect with them at all. Yeah, I just kind of sort of lose interest where I just like, I don't care, this guy's kind of a loser.
It's just kind of
that kind of applies to Ichi and that one guy who joins the gang later on, the storyline of him.
Well, and even like, and here's the thing is I actually have read the manga this is based on.
Yeah,
I think the Ichi story is a lot better fleshed out in the manga than it is here. And here's the problem, it's a long manga, so like I can understand trying to truncate it, and I think for the most part he got like the structure down, but it just feels like instead of trying to develop it more, he just kind of opted to sort of show the style instead, because he's like, I can't adapt all of it. And it's like, that's fine, but like I don't like Ichi. And then it's like I'm supposed to sit with these scenes, and also they don't really explain the hypnotism as well. They kind of like leave it implied, and I just felt like in that second half you kind of piece it a little better together as you watch it more. But I remember that first watch, I was like, I have no idea what is low-key happening sometimes. Like,
interesting. I didn't mind the mystery behind the hypnotism as much.
And I don't mean to imply like I needed like a scene of him being like, here's the logic.
He needs his information spoon-fed.
I need the tenant scene where he tells me it's inverted.
Like,
but I don't know. I just felt like,
just feel it, bro.
Well, but then here's the thing though, they don't explain it, but I'm supposed to care.
It, bro. Just feel
and then on top
bro.
of it, I don't know the parameters of how it works, so I'm just kind of like, okay, like I have to just, the movie does what it wants, so it's like, okay. I'm so fucking mad. Yeah, I'm so fucking mad.
Let's spoon feed him his information. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I'm fucking with you. Looking at his catalog right now, Audition, fuck.
He hasn't even watched it, bro. That's crazy.
I fucking love Audition. Audition, I think, is, from what I've seen so far, is truly his magnum opus. Bro, I think that Ichi the Killer is a fun watch, but definitely falls apart in the second half. If you're looking for some real fucked up body horror, some real gore, some real fucked up themes,
it's fucked up. Yeah,
this is a rough watch. I would recommend this with proceeding with caution, because there is again, trigger warning, sexual assaults, like
and flagrant sexual assault. It's not really very bad. Honestly, I would say, because I think Takashi Miike usually does violence in a way that I think has some meaning, but this is the one where I'm like, this is just vile.
It's just vile to be vile. Some of this
for the sake of it, it's not fun.
Some of this really is just used for shock factor, like shock value. It is not. It doesn't feel too good, and I think that in ways serves the plot, serves the point of the movie, but it like coming back away, like stepping away from it, I feel like it is a little bit in poor taste.
It's the best quality and the worst quality, because Ichi the Killer knows what it is. And it's like, it's the best quality because it is a unique punk film that honestly I do admire the sort of cutthroat spirit of it. It's like, fuck you, I'm just making this odyssey that's fucked up. But that's also the double-edged sword. But because of that, if it doesn't always hit, then that gimmick kind of falls apart. Because I'm looking at this other films, because I think this era it came out in 2001, this glut is a very specifically interesting era, like Visitor Q, Dead or Alive, Three Extremes, Gozu. Ichi the Killer is like the weakest of that era. I think. And even compared to his later stuff, like 13 Assassins, like really good, Graveyard of Honor, Rainy Dog, like this stuff, it's just kind of weak.
Ichi the Killer 2001 by
Takashi Miike
is our fourth pick for our horror film extravaganza week three, body horror. I don't know if I would recommend this one. I think it's fun if you're looking for a body horror that really ends up pushing
a purely carnal ride.
It's definitely perverted. It's a perverted movie. Proceed with caution. This is our fourth pick. All right, for our fifth and final pick for body horror, we've got none other than David Cronenberg himself, the body horror master, with
The Brood.
1979, The Brood. Now, I know that you have a lot of thoughts on this.
I do.
I'm going to go ahead and
give the inverse of each other on this one.
Let me give some of my thoughts real quick off rip. A lot of the pros, I really do like the way this movie looks. A lot of the colors and the shots here, the composition is really, really nice to look at. I had a fun time living in this small town. I really enjoyed the performance from the psychiatrist, who was a very weird guy, and also just a very calculated man, especially with his performance. It felt very harrowing. His performance was definitely a little bit it just felt very much like a pastor, like a church pastor, one that you don't trust. Also the dad's performance, we got Art Hindle. Art Hindle was really good, and a really convincing dad going through a rough time and a rough patch in his life as he tried to keep his daughter safe and look out for the best interest of his daughter. I felt like his performance was really good. There's a lot of great performances in this movie.
What do you think of the score?
The score is great. The score is great. It's not something that actually lingered with me past the runtime, but it was definitely engaging, and I enjoyed what I was hearing from the score. I was more drawn in by the performances as well as the way the movie looked. I thought the movie looked really good. Also, these little demon creatures I found to be so fucking funny. I was just like, wow, David Cronenberg hates kids, bro. Like, he hates children. Poor Brandon Cronenberg, having to grow up watching and be like, damn, You hated me?
Yeah, no. These are evil minions.
Yeah. But, I don't feel like this movie did enough for me in terms of body horror. Okay. This movie is very... it's a calm movie. It's a movie way more focused on introspection, how dealing with grief, dealing with
low scale
parents, a lot of family issues, especially dealing with
very
separation
personal
issues. It's a very personal film, and you could tell like he kind of saved all like the body horror for the end, and there's not really much in terms of body horror, which I left kind of feeling disappointed about. Just mainly because I didn't really connect with as much with the storyline of what the movie was saying. I still felt entertained, and I don't feel like it's a bad movie. I had a good time watching it. I just wasn't left as impressed. But I know you have a lot of notes. I want to get out the way. I wanted to get my thoughts out the way. So that way you can yap about what you got to say. Because I know you have a lot to say, and I'm very curious about what you have to say. What do you think? What do you like about this movie? What do you like about it?
What I love about The Brood is I just find it such a personal and bitter film from Cronenberg. He was going through a divorce. He was struggling as a father. This was early in his career, the 70s. And, I'm sure also the pressures of being a filmmaker doing genre cinema was pressuring him at the time, because it's not, all of these issues that were sort of lingering in his life at the time feel infused in the script.
You said he was going through a divorce while he was shooting.
Yes, right? I think either right when he was shooting this or right before. Like it's intertwined. This film is very much him bleeding his anxiety, his bitterness right into the script, and I think that's what gets me about it. Is I think it's a very bitter and personal and cold film from him. I think a lot of his other films obviously deal with, sort of technological advancement in a way that feels clinical and scary, but this one feels the most scaled down and just raw.
I love that you're saying this because even though I know you love it and I know you connect with it, I'm just thinking about the movie through that lens and realizing like how much David Cronenberg was like, my ex-wife is a witch.
Yeah,
she's pumping out like demon babies.
There's so many sequences of just either Oliver Reed, the psychiatrist, or the husband being like, man, it's just like, what do I do to get such a witch in my life?
Dude, like, he was like, dude, I hate my ex-wife. Like, she's causing all this bad stuff to happen. Like, literally, she's like, dude, she's the cause of everything bad in my life.
It's divorced dad horror.
Even though it is a divorced dad horror movie, like it's it's about that. I don't think it strays too close to the sun where it becomes like stomp rock, like dadcore.
It's more, it's less him just trying to be punishing, and I think more of him feeling lost. Because like the dad in the film, who's literally like, you have these minions running around beating people with mallets.
I was gonna say too, like the dad in this movie is like a man who can do no wrong. Like he's like, dude, I have like, I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Like the guy's like very much like, he's painted to be this perfect dad, and like he's just going through a hard time. And
there's
like,
a little exoneration going on.
He's even getting pussy thrown at him, and he's like, dude, I can't get laid right now because I'm so worried about like, dude, I have like, and like looking at it through that lens, it's like, dude, I'm David Cronenberg, dude. I get laid so much, but I can't even get laid right now because I'm like focused on my children. I don't think it's
that self-aggrandizing. I think it's more like,
I am slightly exaggerating, but honestly, I'm not. I agree with that.
I think it's more just like a dad feeling stuck in this world of people he doesn't fucking understand or quite frankly like, and that frustration of it. And granted, I do think like obviously what you're saying is very valid and true, and I'm not saying it doesn't stray there a little bit.
You're just invalidating my feelings.
I think you're fucking wrong and it's dumb. No, I'm kidding. Very intelligent human being, but I just think,
bro, kiss me real quick.
There's that you love, and then I just think there's a lostness to him in the film that I can understand. And the specific performance that entranced me with this is Samantha Eggar as Nola. I think she's terrifying in this film. Really? And I love the theme of this film of rage manifesting physically. It's also, out of all his films which deal with technology, this is his most, like, I think, spiritual, because it's not dealing with direct technology. It's the idea of just rage manifesting physically. And there's something, I don't know, interesting about that. And her performance is the detached mother who, compared to the in-laws who also had a part in her abuse and suffering, you can see that detachment, that wear and tear on her, and you can feel that she's snapped. And every scene with her, especially in Oliver Reed, who's trying to get to the core of why she feels the way she is terrifying, especially when we start to understand that her direct anger is causing the minions to kill. And I thought that was very fascinating, and this idea of like trauma being the weapon itself. And it's just so, I don't know, it was really interesting. And the very end scene where she has the sort of sack, it's a very iconic image, and she's licking it, and it's like a fetus coming out. It's very much Cronenberg's statement about what he basically thinks of motherhood, and especially from the angle of his wife. And this is such a man movie. It's angry. No, it's angry. And I think about how he correlates basically the violence of birth with the violence of trauma from their parents, and I think it's not even, I think it kind of goes even beyond a relationship. I think he's just talking about, because there's a line he says in the film here, says, "I feel like I've already screwed up my child. She's only 6." And I feel like it's that, like, worry about that point of no return. Nola is past the point of no return, which, as we see through the in-laws, they caused that. And then he's worried about that with his daughter because he doesn't know what he's doing. And then the minions killing people. There's just this feeling of pressure. And I think it's a fascinating time capsule in his life and where he was at, and mentally where he was at with his fatherhood and as a filmmaker. It's just, I don't know, it's an interesting little piece from a filmmaker I respect. And even if I disagree with some of its thesis about motherhood and maybe some of the attitudes towards the ex-wife, the dad cinema, I just think there's something intriguing about it.
I guess I'm looking at it a little bit more through a critical lens, and I don't think I have like, I hear your reading on it, and I do think that it's very interesting, and I think that you're not far off. I think I just am approaching this a little bit differently, and I interpreted this movie as way more of a crybaby movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's just
really
I felt like a lot of the themes here was just very much like woe is me. Although I do relate to a lot of the stuff that you were talking about in terms of generational trauma and how we find out that the wife's mother was literally abusing her and was causing a lot of grief and pain in her life, and like you said, you know, she was there's a theme of being afraid of continuing on this generational trauma and like cycles of it, and I've seen it happen in like in friends and in my own family. Like generational trauma is something that at least I've definitely tried to move past in my own life, working through different things that I notice and patterns that my parents have passed down to me, and something that we try to work towards through. And I see your perspective. I still do walk away with this movie just thinking it's a little bit more sillier, and I do think that it's like, and this is divorced dad core.
Well, and even on a technical level though, I love the score. And then I love the violence. I think the gore is good. The shot composition, the way it's following, it's very clinical. I like the detached style to it. And then also, I got to shout out Oliver Reed. I love his character, and I like this idea of role playing with people. And it's weird. He sort of brings their trauma out through their physical maladaptations and, you know, their manifestations by playing the people that are suffering.
He's in Tommy, and that's directed by Ken Russell, who we just covered with Altered States.
He's in Three Musketeers. Dude, Oliver Reed, he's in Ken Russell's The Devils as well.
Dude, that's right.
Yeah, Oliver Reed, and his final film was Ridley Scott's Gladiator.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he died at 61 because he was
I'm looking at his filmography,
drunk.
And this is insane.
It's an insane filmography.
You got Gladiator, The Devil's a Brood. I've never heard of this one, The Adventures of Baron... do you know how to pronounce that?
Baron Munchausen.
Munchausen, yeah. Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it, but that's Terry Gilliam, I'm guessing, I think. Yeah, I've seen Time Bandits. There's actually a big gap in his filmography I need to see, but
interesting. Yes. Yeah, no, I want to get through some of his work because I definitely want to see Tommy, and I want to see more Ken Russell. But look, The Brood, 1979. If you are into Cronenberg, I highly recommend this movie. This is very much David Cronenberg, not Brandon Cronenberg. This
early
is very much
Cronenberg
David
too.
Cronenberg. Yeah, is this one of his first body horror movies?
This is like, I think, his third film. This is like before he hit his swing in the 80s.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see where he started, at least the beginning roots of it. And although I do have my critiques with the movie, I still had a great time watching this. I thought it was still very interesting, even though it is, to me, feels like divorced dad core. What do you think about this movie? What do you rate it?
And to be fair, I do think it is divorced dad core. I just think
No, you don't.
I think it's a very interesting version of divorced dad core because it's not like... I disagree with you. I don't think it's whiny. I think it's bitter. And I think the difference is that when you listen to the lines and you see the subtleness of how it flares up with the male character, I don't get whiny because I don't think he's saying he's like suffering because of her. I think he just is mad and he's angry and he feels... You know what?
You're right. And I take it back. I don't think it is whiny. You're 100%. Yeah, he's angry and he's lashing
angry.
Out. He's lashing out. Yeah.
Yes.
The Brood, 1979 by
David Cronenberg.
And that is going to conclude our third week of Horror Film Extravaganza. This week was
body horror.
Next week we have
horror comedies.
I'm super excited to get into all these movies.
That's gonna be a good time.
We have a good lineup for you guys. A lot of great discussion. Go ahead and go over to my Letterboxd, Filmbro98. You're going to see the full list. If you're seeing this video, you can watch the movies. And also, we have 2 other episodes out already. We have the slasher episode out. We have the psychological horror episode out. If you have not seen those, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out those episodes. And if you haven't seen these movies, go ahead and watch them and come back to join us in this conversation. This week was fun. Week, I think my favorite one was From Beyond, just because of how much fun I had with From Beyond. And Altered States are like right there.
I think Altered States takes the cake for me.
I wouldn't even...
Transformative.
Yeah, it's an incredible film.
Yes.
What a great time this week.
Absolutely.
We'll see y'all next week. Thank you so much to Billy for editing our podcast. Thank you so much for Ivana for helping out with the audio.
So and thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, dude. It's been such a good time. And we got one more episode left.
Yes,
and we want to keep this going. So make sure to subscribe, like our YouTube video. If you like what you're watching and you know other people who fuck with horror films, like we fuck with horror films, or just fuck with film in general, send them our videos. Spread the word about our videos, guys. If you're really enjoying what you're watching, we really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Like, subscribe. Instagram, Working Class Frame Rate. TikTok, Working Class Frame Rate. We'll catch y'all next week.
Sayonara.
Peace out.
where you